Hey guys, Timmy Ray Tactical doing another video. Actually doing this for the 7th time. I'm going to do a video here on a controversial subject, 9mm versus 45. So for the examples today, I have a Glock 30 SF, okay? It's 45 ACP, no rounds in the chamber, safe direction. And for the 9mm, we have a Canik TP9 SA, again, no rounds in the chamber. Okay, so right off the bat, I'm going to say I'm going to say something before I start this whole video. Neither of these rounds are better than the other. You can't compare milk to toast. They both have different purposes. They both fill different jobs. But at the end of the day, you can still utilize them. They're still good in their own aspects. Okay, so as you can see, starting out, 9mm is a substantially smaller size. The circumference is a lot smaller than the 45. That's a no-brainer. Now, if you're, one of your diehard Merca people, bigger being better, that's not necessarily the case. There's always stipulations to everything. Even though 45 ACP is a lot larger, it's traveling a lot slower because the propellants, which are fast burning, are pushing out a larger round. So you're going to get between 900 and 800 feet per second. Now, this is really good for stopping power, for knocking down targets. However, if they're behind a barrier, not so much. That's where 9mm comes in. 9mm travels between 1100. Actually, let's go down to 900 because if you're using a subcompact pistol, between 900 to upwards 1500, depending on propellants, rounds, and the firearm that you're using. This guy is smaller, cheaper to shoot. A lot of firearms around the world are chambered in 9mm, so this is like the de facto standard, like micro USB phone chargers. These are all around the world. Because of their size, you can fit a lot of them in a smaller frame and a service frame. This is my Canik TP9 SA. It holds 18 rounds, but standard service pistols such as the Glock 17, Beretta 9mm, those are 17 rounders. M&P, of course, between 16 and 15 rounds. Even the Glock 19, which I believe holds 15 rounds. Same form factor as the 30 SF, but it's so much smaller. Now this one holds 10. That's because it double stacks it. But the 36, which is the same form factor but thinner, holds 6. So right off the bat, you're not getting very many rounds. 1911s, for example, 7 rounds. So you got this big heavy gun, which is amazing. I love 1911s. Not bashing them. I love them. It's a heavier gun, but you're not getting that many rounds. Now, if you're dealing with a gunfight and you're in the middle of, having a gun pointed at your face, or your bullets are whizzing by you, you're going to want more rounds because at that point in time, you're going to be pushing this button repeatedly and pointing the gun in a direction. There's no precision at that point. You're pointing in a direction and pulling the trigger. 45, again, when the rounds connect, they're perfect. It's excellent. But what happens when you run out of ammunition is one thing. So again, they both have different purposes, unless you're a good shot, okay? Some people can remain calm under stress, but I'm talking about the average shooter. This is, again, my duty weapon because I'm a security guard, so this is my duty weapon. But would I feel more comfortable with this, with my 9mm? Yes, of course I would. But I just choose the 45. It's a Glock, it's whatever. So that's my opinion, again. This isn't any facts. But that's my personal opinion. Again, neither of these rounds are better than the other. So that's okay. So that's that in a nutshell. What else was I going to say? Again, 9mm is a lot cheaper to shoot. So when I go to the range and get range time, this is a lot more expensive for me to shoot. Cheapest I found was about $16 for Tula ammo, and that's 50 rounds. Okay? Versus 9mm, I found for about $9. Okay? So even though it's about a $5, $5 or $6 difference, every penny counts when you're dealing with quantity. Also, the cheaper ammo in 45 isn't always available to me because, of course, a lot of people like myself are hardworking Americans and we can't afford all that, so they get to the shelves before I do. There's so many different damn brands. You have Perfecta, you have Federal, you have Tula. There's so many cheaper brands that you can go for. And if you have a Glock 19 or 17, something that'll eat the ammo up, Canik's good too, but I'm just giving an example. Go by any means, go use your cheap ammo to practice. The more rounds, the better. I mean, for $18, that's 100 rounds. You might be able to find a better deal. So it's a lot more economical. Now this round here, as I said with this one, okay, let's get back into 9mm. 9mm is excellent when it comes to again, capacity and dealing with targets that may be behind a barrier. 9mm can be, again, like I said earlier, between 900 and about 1500 feet per second. So that, in retrospect, compared to 800 feet per second, this is just a better way to go. It's not a better round, in my opinion. Again, none of these are better than the other, but it's more practical. Now, home defense, where if someone breaks in my house and I need to, and they have a gun and I need to, God forbid, drop the threat, subdue him or her, God forbid, 45 ACP would be the way to go. 800 feet per second. It loses a lot of its kinetic energy once it enters the target. It's not going to go through the wall and cause collateral damage, because you are responsible for that. Not a lot of people tell you in the news. Just because you take care of a situation and you defend yourself does not mean you are not held liable yourself. So you can be held liable. Okay, so that's just some fruit for thought. So I'm more comfortable with 45 ACP in my house if I need be, God forbid. So yeah, that's that also. So let's see, let's go over some more. I'm trying to think of some other subjects. Yeah, just like I said, this is more available around the world. This is, the de facto standard these days. But let's see. Yeah. So there's not much difference really. There's not one that's better than the other, as I've been trying to really get at in this video. It really depends on what you prefer. I happen to like 45. 45 also kicks a lot more than 9. That's another subject. 9mm is easier to get back on target, but 45 I just prefer. Again, like I said, I'm not the type of guy that just goes out looking for trouble, but at the same time, I don't live in the best area, so having 10 rounds of 45 ACP on me, it makes me feel a little bit better, knowing that I may have to, it's an urban area, I may have to engage a target that's in an area around a lot of people. So yeah, that's a better way to go. I'm not having rounds going, 20 yards or whatever, 50 yards. I'm able to defend myself. But again, 9mm, I'm not knocking it. It is more efficient, especially in the smaller frame weapons. 40, I'm not going to get into. I had my shield. I love my shield, but the 40 was just too snappy for me, and I ended up selling it. So I'm not even going to put 40 in this discussion, because to me, and you can be pissy all you want, but I'm going to be honest, to me there is not much more power from a 40 to a 9. It's a higher pressure round, which destroys your firearm faster, as I said before, but the recoil, it almost seems as if most of the energy is transferred into the recoil than it is into the round itself. You don't believe me? Look at a lot of these videos. Like, there's some awesome guys out there. Langley Firearms Academy makes awesome videos, and he showed a few of the videos, and what I've just noticed is 9mm and 40, there's no like difference really. Maybe back in the day when the 9mm first came out, we had Hydra-Shoks, which had awful penetration. Maybe then 40 was better. That was a far cry, but now we have more propellants and whatnot, so 9mm is back on. That's why a lot of police departments are going back to 9. It's just cheaper, it's more practical, it's easier to keep on target, it's a more practical round. But 45 is awesome. It's been around since World War II. It's not going anywhere anytime soon, and it's definitely worth having around, because like I said, in my situation, if I need to be in a space that's really, really confined and I need stopping power, I'm not going to overlook 45. I think it's excellent. Now, if the guy's behind a barrier and he's like some psycho, yeah, maybe if he comes near me, like comes closer, maybe I can, just say, hey, dude, try to talk him out of it, stop what you're doing. He starts coming closer and he's within meanable range, then yeah. Or if you have 9mm, fire superiority. We were always taught that in the Army, fire superiority. You have more 9mm rounds going down range. Eventually one of those is going to connect, and it just depends on your round placement. So you can connect in vitals and stop them quick. And it doesn't matter if you have a 22. If you connect with the central nervous system, done, finished. So therefore you should know that already, as far as no round being better. Anyway, I gotta go, guys. Running out of time. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel, watching my videos. Thanks for the support. Love you guys. Bye.